This review is made possible by Gerald Kia in Naperville. Gerald's outstanding staff is ready to find the perfect car for you. Whether it be new or used, your next car is waiting for you at Gerald Kia.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2021 Kia Seltos. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4
and down below is a CVT. This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US.
But let's get back to that 2.0 liter. Well, there are actually two engines offered here in the Seltos. The lower trim levels, which this is a mid to lower trim level, the S. This comes with the 2.0 liter naturally aspirated inline 4. It puts out about 150 horsepower. I think it's rated at like 146 horsepower, somewhere in that range, which isn't too bad. The car does still get up and go. It doesn't feel sluggish and it doesn't feel underpowered, which I really, really like. But there is another engine offered, which is a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4. That comes in the higher turbo models, and that puts out about 175 horsepower. So if zippiness, if speed is your big draw, then I would opt for the turbo engine as opposed to this. However, this isn't slow, so we're on the test track. We'll bump it up into sport mode, which we'll talk about in a second, and we'll give it a little acceleration test. Like I said, it's not going to blow the doors off of anything, but it is pretty nice. It makes a solid amount of power. For the 2 liter, I will put up the gas mileage right here. If those are good to you, good. If that's bad to you, bad. Let's talk about the transmission. The transmission is nice and smooth. It doesn't jolt you. It's not anything really too crazy.
Now, while this model does come with a CVT, if you option for the turbo model, it actually comes with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. So if that's something that you'd like, you will have to go up to the turbo model in order to get a true 7-speed automatic.
Last but not least, this particular Seltos is all-wheel drive. Now, you can get a front-wheel drive version. I would definitely 100% go with the all-wheel drive version, and here's why. If you're gonna buy an SUV, you're gonna have that added ground clearance, you should get all-wheel drive. You just should. It's a lot smarter, especially here in Chicago. Yesterday, it was almost 60 degrees. Today, it's 33 with a chance of snow. You gotta be ready for anything, and all-wheel drive really makes you prepared for anything. So my next vehicle purchase will almost certainly be all-wheel drive, and I think yours should be too. It's just better to have all-wheel drive and not need it than need all-wheel drive and not have it. It's just one of those readiness things. So moving on from the drivetrain, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two main gauge pods. On the left is my tachometer with coolant down at the bottom, and on the right is my speedometer with fuel at the bottom. Then I do have a little center screen. This is pretty typical of every Kia currently made. I can switch it between some things. Drive info, so how long I've been driving it. My trip is 3.5 miles as of now. Then I have my accumulated info, fuel economy, which is my instant fuel economy right now. So right now I'm getting, well, it just shot up because I let off the gas, but I was getting about 25 miles to the gallon. Which drive mode I'm in, so I could just watch all the time what drive mode I'm in, which is a little useless, but it is what it is. And then I'm back to my speed in digits. Again, I like all of those features. It's not the crazy K900 gauges, but they are very nice and they're easy to read, and that's what I really, really like about it. On the steering wheel, first of all, the steering wheel is leather, feels very nice, but on the left, I do have mode, voice commands as my voice goes out, volume, track change, and phone options. And then on the right, I have my cruise control as well as my page settings and cruise control options. So I can actually switch through another couple pages on the gauges. So I do have those pages, like I said before, but then I can go to lane keep assist, attention level. That's wild. And then I can look at my all-wheel drive split. So right now we're just cruising. I'm really only using the front wheels. But then if I really get into it, then it splits at 50-50. And my tire pressure in all 4 wheels. Hit that button on the steering wheel again, and I have my user settings. I also do have a button on the steering wheel that is a steering wheel, and that will actually stiffen up the steering wheel. So if you prefer a lot stiffer of a feel, you have to kind of work it more, but you could be more precise that way. You can definitely stiffen it up. Or if you like it a little bit looser, a little bit easier, then you can do that as well. You can actually change the resistance of the steering wheel with that little button, and I really, really like that. To the left of me, I have my lane keep assist on and off, traction control on and off, auto start stop on and off, and then my gauge dimmer switches. Very nice off to the left and sort of out of the way. And then on the door, I do have power mirrors, power locks, power windows, and child locks, but also I have this cool sort of textured vent-looking things. I'm not quite sure well, they're speakers, but I don't know really why they're textured like this, but they look kind of cool. We'll talk about that more with the looks because that carries on to the front of the car as well. Now we're getting into the infotainment in the center, and this is very big. First of all, well, it's an 8-inch touchscreen display. Very nice. It's a very nice display. The backup camera is very clear, easy to read, easy to see, and that's very important, which is good. But I do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Again, this is really a game changer for cars. I said this in my 2020 Kia Rio review, and now I'm saying it here in the 2021 Kia Seltos review. Having Apple CarPlay really changes the whole dynamic of the car. It feels a lot more personal. This feels like my car when I hook my phone into it because all my contacts are there and my music's there and I don't have to fiddle with it and I know exactly how to use it. I review probably about 5 to 6 cars every single week. I'm getting into a new car, a different car, every single day of the week, essentially. And so I have to learn how all of the radios work. I have to figure out how all of the navigations work. And I'm not saying that because, oh, boo-hoo. I'm saying that because it gets annoying. But with Apple CarPlay, I can get into any other car with Apple CarPlay. I know exactly how to use it. I know exactly how to do everything, and that is really, really nice. But the display is really nice. Of course, I do have the standard Kia navigation and roadside assistance and things like that in the center. Interestingly enough, I do have this sort of blue speckled, I'm not sure, this blue textured piece down below the radio, and it actually comes all the way over to this side of the dashboard as well. I like it. It's a little accent piece that's full of color. Besides really the air conditioning knob, if I were to take a picture of this interior and make it black and white, there wouldn't be much of a difference, but that bar, that's the difference, which is really, really nice. It adds a little bit of pop of color, but it's not in your face about it. But speaking of air conditioning, we do have 2 vents and then our air conditioning controls. There is no dual climate zones, unfortunately, but we do have hot or cold, and then we have our 4 different fan options and where we want it sent, as well as an AC and a rear defroster button. It's laid out very nice. It's very easy to read for a first-time driver, or, if you're new to the Seltos, which everyone is because these haven't really even been sold yet. It's very nice. You can get in and I can adjust my climate controls without too much guesswork. Down below that, we do have 2 12-volt outlets and our USB in. That is for the Apple CarPlay / Android Auto. So you have to plug your phone in order to get those. But then we come to the center console, which has the shifter and a bunch of buttons. So we'll first talk about the shifter. It's pretty much the same shifter you'll find in any other Kia. I like it. It's leather wrapped on the top and has a leather shift boot with blue stitching. Very, very nice. I think it looks great. And I can move it over and plus minus if I'd really like to do that. But to the left of it, I do have a heated seat option, which is very, very nice. I like that a lot. And on the right, I do have all-wheel drive lock, so I can actually lock it in all-wheel drive, which is very, very nice. If you're stuck in the snow, mud, whatever it may be, you can lock in all-wheel drive and really get that extra pulling power to get out of whatever you're in. Heated seat for the passenger, and then hill descent control. So this is essentially cruise control for going down hills. It will sort of limit your speed if it senses that the car is rolling faster than you want it to. This is a pretty common feature in most more rugged, higher scale SUVs, but it's here in the Seltos. So I'm actually going downhill right now. I'm not even touching anything. My feet are off the gas and brake, and I am not going faster than 5 miles an hour. Normally a car in drive would pick up momentum, but this actually sort of fluctuates the brake so your car doesn't run away. That is really, really nice. Then I do have 2 cup holders and a physical parking brake, which I love physical parking brakes. Thank God it is not a power parking brake. Now we gotta talk about the seats. The seats aren't really anything to brag about. They are cloth. They look like pretty much every other seat. I'm not really blown away by them. Although they are comfortable, they are manual, but they are heated. Which again, I don't know, at least personally, I feel like that's sort of not usual. But they are heated, they are not power. So, unfortunately, no power seats. At least here in the S. But we do have back seats, so we'll do a back seat review and then we'll take a look at the hatch. All right, so we're in the back of the 2021 Kia Seltos, and it's not bad. The sort of interesting looking speakers carry on back here. I have a light up here, center console with 2 cup holders, and these seats do go down. It's not super spacious back here, but it's livable. My knees don't hit the front seat. My head doesn't hit the ceiling. It's an actual proper usable back seat. And I really, really like that. Some of the new sort of SUVs, you know, some of the compact ones or the more compact ones, you know, they don't have good legroom. They don't have good headroom. And so if you buy an SUV, it should be able to be very capable and very flexible to your life. And this big back seat really allows that. Now we will hop around back and talk about the tailgate and the trunk. Now the trunk is a very good size. I don't really get any amenities like a light, but the second row seats do fold down and it is a decent amount of size. It's still an SUV. It still has a good sized trunk area. Now we have to talk about the looks. That is why I would purchase the Seltos. Really the biggest selling point for me is the looks. I think other SUVs can do pretty much everything this car can do as well. I mean, there aren't really too many exclusive features with the Seltos, but what is an exclusive feature is the looks. I think the front end design is amazing. I think it's really, really well done. It's fresh, it's modern, it doesn't look like anything else currently on the road. The rear end design is good as well. It looks a little Subaru-y, but that's not a bad thing. I like it a lot. I think it's a good looking car. I think it's a good looking SUV. And I think that's the biggest selling point, at least for me, is that this is something so fresh, so new, so different. You know, like I mentioned earlier, the SUV market is massive now. Massive, massive, massive. I was talking to my dad the other night. I don't think there's a car manufacturer that makes under 3 different SUVs. Besides, like, GMC or like, I mean, like obviously the big names like Lamborghini and Ferrari, but Lamborghini has an SUV. With that being said, you have to really take into account of something that's going to stand out, something that's going to be different, and this is different. This stands out. The final thing we'll talk about, and we'll sort of blend it in with my closing point, is the fact that this right now is $26,000, which honestly for an SUV isn't too bad. You can start getting into the Seltos if you want a base model. They start at about 23, and you can really spec them all the way up till about 30 before, you know, dealer fees and all of that stuff. You can pay 30 grand for one if you really want to. But I have to say, 26 grand for this, brand new 2021, something that no one else is going to have, that's pretty special. If you want something interesting and fresh and different, and I know I keep using the same adjectives, but it's true, then the Seltos is a good car. If you're looking into getting an SUV and you want something that's different, look into the Seltos. I really am pretty happy with this car. It does everything I want it to do, and it looks good doing it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Gerald Kia for getting me one of these Seltos to review. They only have a couple of these on the lot. They literally just came off the truck last week. So I am super excited for you guys to be able to see this. I actually pushed all my other videos up a couple of days so I could get this out faster because I really think this is a very cool and unique vehicle. And so thank you to Gerald Kia. They have tons of cars on the lot, new Rios and Sedonas and anything you might want, you can get from Gerald Kia. Their website is up on the screen. I'd highly recommend it. They also have a lot of used vehicles, so if you are looking for a used vehicle, definitely let them know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really like it. Take care, guys. Aside from my soul.